Ray. What do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Law of attraction. Let your thoughts determine your destiny. What if you could, however, have the power to determine the course of your own life? What if you could accomplish great things and acquire great riches just by using the power of your own mind? What if I told you that this does not have to be a what if? What if I told you that you possess in your psyche the power to chart the course of the rest of your life on whatever path you see fit? Chances are you would tell me that I had obviously been watching too much sci-fi and needed to get out of the house more often, not to mention my obvious need to expand my vocabulary, considering the number of times I have used what if in this conversation. You would be wrong about the sci-fi. Anyway, every person holds in their mind the power to shape the events of their life to achieve whatever end they see fit. This power is what is known as the law of attraction. What is the law of attraction? The belief held by many philosophers and spiritual teachers is that the universe is governed by a set of universal laws. These laws cannot be changed, cannot be broken and apply to every individual, regardless of age or nationality. These laws are the riverbanks which guide the flow of our lives on its journey to its ultimate end. The law of attraction is one such law. The law of attraction is the belief that anyone can determine their destiny through the power of their minds. The law of attraction attracts to you everything you need, according to the nature of your thoughts. Your environment and financial condition are the perfect reflection of your habitual thinking. Before we go too deep into the modern applications of the law of attraction, it is important that you understand that this is not simply New Age nonsense. The principles of the law of attraction date back far beyond the newfound popularity of the New Age. Jesus actually spoke about the law of attraction but referred to it as reaping and sowing. During his famous Sermon on the Mount speech, he said, "Ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened." This is the law of attraction simply put. The Buddha was also one of the first to introduce man to the law of attraction. He said, "What you have become is what you have thought." This was a principle that the people of the East were acquainted with for centuries before it began to sweep into the Western Hemisphere. The concept of karma also may have drawn its roots from the law of attraction. Karma states that you will eventually be revisited by that which you have sent out into the universe. If you have practiced kindness and compassion, you will receive in kind. If you have been deliberately cruel to another, you will receive back into your life that cruelty which you have sent out. Your actions and thoughts morph into energies, causing the universe to react in kind. The law of attraction began to gain popularity in the Western Hemisphere in the 19th century, as people began to appreciate the power of positive thinking and apply it to their life. This new concept was first introduced to the general public by William Walker Atkinson, the editor of New Thought magazine, who published a book called Thought Vibration or The Law of Attraction in the Thought World in 1906. As you can see, the law of attraction is not new. The concept that thought can have a predominant effect on the course of a man's destiny has been taught by wise men throughout the ages, and has given rise to a whole new era of beliefs. What is the premise of the law of attraction? The theory behind the law of attraction is the belief that energy attracts like energy in the vast expanse of space and time that comprises our universe. Each person's being is constantly radiating energy out into space. The type of energy being radiated is determined by the emotional state of the individual in question and may differ from day to day, sometimes even hour to hour. This emotional energy is what is commonly known as a vibe and is referred to as a vibration by scientists studying the law of attraction. Chances are that you are familiar with the term. Have you ever been with someone who is so happy they seem to be radiating a glow which inspires happiness in all those around them? By the same token, have you ever spent time with someone who was so critical and unhappy that they consistently gave off a negative vibe which seemed to suck the life and happiness out of all those around them? You do not have to possess psychic powers to be able to feel the vibes that people emit. This energy is very real on a psychological plane and will affect anyone, anywhere at any time. Our vibrations are usually an unconscious response to some form of environmental stimulus. Something has happened which has caused us to feel happy, or sad, or scared, or confused, or stressed, etc., and our subconscious response to this, because vibes are generated and projected from the subconscious rather than the conscious, is something that is beyond our control. Chances are the person who is emitting a negative vibe does not choose to be unhappy, nor do they wish to inflict their unhappiness on all those around them by the simple fact of their presence. Before you say what you are thinking, yes, there are some exceptions to this rule. Misery does love company, and there are many who take a great deal of delight in inflicting their pain on other people. It is important to understand that this is not usually done in a desire to cause others pain but out of a desire to not feel so alone in their unhappiness. But we digress. There are a number of feelings which lead to positive and negative vibes being emitted, and it is important before we continue on any form of discussion about the law of attraction that you understand what each of these are. You'll understand the reasons for this a little later. Positive vibes are generated from good feelings, such as joy, love, excitement, abundance, pride, comfort, confidence, affection. Negative vibes are generated from negative feelings, such as disappointment, loneliness, lack, sadness, guilt, stress, anger, hurt. What do vibes have to do with the law of attraction? As we mentioned earlier, the fundamental principle of the law of attraction is the belief that life energy attracts like energy. This means that if a person is emitting positive vibes, they will draw good things to them, and if they are emitting negative vibes, they will draw bad things to them. You are a living magnet, attracting what you want. You have seen this principle in practice before. Have you ever known someone who was always upbeat and positive and seemed to be too lucky to be true? On the flip side, you have certainly known someone who loved to complain and look on the darker sides of life, that always seemed to have something new to complain about because things were always going wrong in their life. These examples show people attracting the results of the energy they are giving off. Remember, you attract to your life whatever you give your attention, energy and focus to, whether wanted or unwanted. Does this mean that all of the bad things that happen to you in this life are because you subconsciously wanted them to? This is one of the most common arguments against the concept of the law of attraction, and it often the hardest to refute because people have not yet recognized that the law of attraction is not a pipe dream or something that someone dreamed up while sitting on their porch one hot summer night. It is a fact of life, and its effects are far-reaching. In answer to your question, no, not everything bad that happens in your life is a result of you subconsciously wishing for it to happen. Sometimes it is a result of someone else wishing for it to happen. To quote an example from a website pertaining to the law of attraction, a child or a spouse who is abused is not abused because they wished for this abuse to happen. This abuse happened because the abuser allowed their negative thoughts concerning their child or spouse to creep across their subconscious until they eventually began to dictate their actions. The mind is a powerful thing, and where the mind goes, the feet will soon follow. The foundation of any success you are going to encounter in life is not the ability of your physical body to overcome the obstacles, but of your mind to believe that a way lies around them. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where your mind can believe that there is a way for the body to achieve its heart's desire, a way does exist. How can I use the law of attraction? This is an excellent, and very important, question. After all, it doesn't do you much good to know what the law of attraction is if you do not know how to use it to achieve success in your own life. Once you have mastered the basics of the law of attraction, you will be able to apply it to any area in your life. 1. The first step in finding success through the law of attraction is to accept responsibility for the things that have occurred in your life, both good and bad. This is often the most difficult part of achieving success through manifestation because we are taught from childhood to believe that our environment contributes in a large part to the circumstances in which we find ourselves. It's very hard to take the responsibility and acknowledge the fact that your environment was not the major contributing factor in each of these events. In many cases you will have no one to blame but yourself. In order to help yourself move past these events, take a moment and write down on a piece of paper all of the major events in your life, again, both good and bad. Leave plenty of room underneath each one. Now, take a moment to go back and review these events. Write down what you were feeling at the time they happened, how you felt before they happened, and what events had occurred prior to this. Chances are you are going to find that events occurring in your favor occurred at times when you were possessed of a positive attitude and other things in your life were going right. On the flip side, events which occurred probably happened concurrently with other events in your life which caused you to have a negative outlook on life. Coincidence? 2. Once you have accepted the fact that you are responsible for your own fate, it is time to go one step further and determine what it is about your life that you would like to change. Do you want to find another job? Move to a new house? Enter into a meaningful relationship? Receive a promotion? Identify the things you wish to achieve and write them down. Display them in a prominent place. Constantly being able to view the anticipated results of your endeavors will help to keep you on the right track. In essence, with the creation of this list you are asking the universe for what you want. Take the time to think on this for a while so that it is embedded firmly in your mind, and keep your goals specific. Making a goal too big or too general is an almost certain guarantee that you will not be able to achieve it because you will be too busy worrying about how you are going to achieve it. 3. Raise your vibrations so that they are all positive. Act and feel as though you are confident that the end result you are hoping for is going to occur. This is an essential part of the law of attraction because it is very easy to allow your minds to begin to wander to all of the difficulties which you may encounter when trying to achieve your goals. This will cause your vibrations to become negative and will work against you rather than for you. 4. Accept that it can happen. Many times your subconscious is your own stumbling block. You will be attempting to convince your conscious mind that something can happen while at the same time your subconscious is picking out the reasons that it will never work. In order to help yourself overcome this stumbling block and have absolute faith in the fact that you will be able to effect this change in your life, you should look again at the sheet of paper upon which you have written your goals and attempt to write them in terms that will help your mind and body accept them as fact. It is recommended that you write these statements in the third person rather than the first. It is often difficult for the mind to accept something as fact when it is couched in such relative terms as I, me or my. For example, if you are attempting to find a new job, you could say, millions of people every year work in jobs which make them happy. If you are seeking to enter a meaningful relationship, you could say, millions of people around the globe have found their soulmate and are now happily settled in comfortable, established relationships. The purpose of writing these statements down is to purge the negative vibes and doubts from your mind. If you are unable to accept the outcome as fact, your subconscious mind is going to conjure a different outcome, and it is going to be this outcome that your mind and body focus on. Therefore, this outcome is going to be the one that will become your reality, and you will walk away absolutely certain that the law of attraction is 100% false. What can the law of attraction do for you? The law of attraction can help to determine the course of your future, and the successes or failure which you may encounter along the way. Let us for a moment consider the possibilities of the law of attraction when applied to your working environment. For those who are searching for a job, it may be impossible to find one which suits them. Is this because such a job does not exist, or is it because in their subconscious mind they believe that they will not be able to find a job and consequently are releasing so much negative energy out into the universe that they are actually driving these jobs away. Anyone who